Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Inspiration Collaboration Design Team Challenge. This month, the team is challenging each other to twist a kit. So the kit that I'm going to twist is the September Paper Pumpkin kit called Autumn Abundance. And this has lots of fall colors and these card bases that have the wood grain, and also this card base that has fall leaves along with some copper foiling. And the pictures that I'm going to scrapbook are continuing my trip last fall to Telluride, Ouray, and Silverton. So this is where we took the $1 Million Highway into Silverton, and then we found the museum and we walked around a lot and just learned a lot about the silver mining town. So the pattern that I'm going to use is from Make It From Your Heart Volume 5, and it's pattern number 9, and it has lots of strips of different pattern papers. And the pattern papers I'm going to use, this one is from Regal Winter, and it has that wild wheat color in it that matches the leaves in the card bases. And then this, it's not jute, it's burlap looking pattern that is from Wildly Flowering. And then the rest is from the Scrapbook paper collection that is called Sweet Days of Autumn. And then my base is going to be this piece. It's these two pieces. They're from a collection called Textures from Close to My Heart. And it looks like chambray or like a faded denim. And Silverton is a railroad mining town. And so I felt like the denim reflected the railroad uniforms, or the guys that were working in the mines, they wore denim. So I wanted this to be my base. And so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll cut the zip strips off of these two pieces to create our base. And then we'll start cutting strips according to the pattern. This is a great pattern for leftovers, and lots of times you'll have those strips of paper in various sizes. So this works. This pattern works for lots of those leftovers. So in order to use these card bases, I need 2 inches. And then instead of it going 12 inches across the paper, there are some voids where my pictures are going to be. So I can set this up so that it looks as if it's going all the way across, but it's not. There underneath where the photo is, there's going to be a split. And that's okay, because you'll never know when you look at the full page when it's finished. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this right along that scored line. And then we'll put each of those pieces down. And this is how the photo is going to lay on top in that open space. Okay, so I'm going to cut another one, and I'm strategically trimming this so that I make the most of that pattern. So I'm cutting up part of the top, and then I'm going to trim off the bottom so that I can have my 2 inches and, like I said, make the most of the pattern. And this side, I'll need a couple of 1/2 inch strips, and then I'll split it just like I did on the left panel to accommodate those places where the photos are going to be, and make the appearance that this is a 12-inch strip of pattern paper. So it's going to sit on my paper like that. Then I'll bring in a strip of mocha, and it's a 1/2 inch. And then we'll bring in 2 more pattern papers. So I'll use this burlap piece, and it's a muted burlap. It's doesn't have as much of the yellow tones to it. More browns, and I think it goes better with that wild wheat and the colors that are in that pattern paper from the card base. So we have 2 strips of that, and then I'll bring in this Cajun Craze patterned paper from Sweet Days of Autumn, and we'll cut 2 strips of that. And when I lay it down, it looks like tiny little trees in the pattern there, and I'll fix it later on. I put them down upside down here. It's hard to tell because it's a tiny print, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then to finish up at the bottom, I'm going to use this other piece from Sweet Days of Autumn, and it has that, it's kind of old olive, a bright green color. And your eye or your brain sees organic color, so it's good to put green at the base if you've got a blue above it. Just looks right. It just makes sense to have the green and then the blue above it. And then to finish it up, I have this piece of mocha pattern paper that has little triangles that look like trees. And we'll trim that up 3 by 6, and I'll go about right there. And that's our base. So to go along with the mats that I've used for the previous layouts, telling this story of this weekend trip, I've used old olive and mocha for my mats. So I'm continuing that theme just to keep something that's alike with several of the layouts in this grouping. And then I have printed, this is a 5 by 7 space, and I've printed my pictures at 3.5 by 5 so that I can get 2 pictures in. And then the pattern calls for the 3 by 4s and then 3 by 3. So it's roughly going to look like that. Okay, so off camera, I've glued everything down, and I've added foam tape to the back of my photo mats. And now we can start making some ephemera and embellishments. So this other card base has these pieces of wood, and I'm going to bring in these dies. This is the deckled circles, and the pattern calls for a 5-inch circle and a 3-inch circle. So I'm pulling those sizes, and I'm going to cut out the wood log, if you will, from this card base. And then we'll do the same thing with the 3-inch one. Lots of sizes to choose from in this die collection, so it's awesome. You're going to find something that's going to work for you. Okay, so we've cut them out off camera, and I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges to replicate that darker wood color that's in the that's on the card base. Just kind of put back that dark outline of the log. So we'll just ink around the edges. So these pictures, like I said, we drove along the $1 Million Highway, and from Ouray, it takes you into the town of Silverton, which is an old silver mining town. And we just parked at one end of town, and we walked to the other and found the Silverton Mining Museum and jail at the other end of town. So we went ahead and toured that. And that's that jail picture of my husband. They had open cells there, and so I told him to get in there so I could take his picture. So yeah, it was a really good day walking around town. Beautiful day, and we just explored. We like to do that together, and we always find like a museum or something interesting to tour and learn about the place we are. So go ahead and trim off the edge of that circle according to the pattern and place that there, and the other circle goes in that other corner. Okay, now we'll make some more embellishments. Now, these are all the pop-out die cuts that come in the Paper Pumpkin kit. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Paper Pumpkin, it's a subscription kit, and you can get a kit once a month, and you can always pause it. So if you decide that you aren't going to be able to do the kit for that month, you can pause it and then start up again the following month. But it's a surprise. Sometimes you'll get a few hints online as to the theme, but it's a surprise kit. Usually it's cards, sometimes it's tags or other little gift boxes and that type of thing. It comes once a month. So I'm going to use this other log so that I have 3, the rules of 3. So I'll add that to my layout. And everything in the Paper Pumpkin kit comes so that you can make the project, and everything that you need is in there. And then you can buy additional dies. So I'm using two different sets. One is for it's this fern image, and that's for the October, November, December kits. And then the other is the leaf, and that is for July, August, and September. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can buy these add-ons. Okay, now I'm going to use this embellishment folder, and it's called Changing Leaves, and we just got more in stock, so you should be able to get them. And it has these coordinating dies that you add the die to the embossing folder, and it kind of saddles in there. You'll feel it kind of click into place. And then you can add your cardstock. I'm using vanilla. And when you run it through your machine, make sure that the folded edge of the embossing folder goes first, and then you know for sure you're doing it right because the Stampinup logo is up and readable. And then just run it through, and it embosses and cuts at the same time. And it's just amazing, the detail on this particular die. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Altenew sticky mat so that I can ink these bad boys up. Okay, so we'll stick that first large leaf cluster down. I'm going to use Cajun Craze and what is this other color? It's crushed curry and pecan pie. So we'll start with the crushed curry, and I'm just using my blending brushes and adding ink to these leaves. And the very vanilla, it takes ink. It's amazing how beautiful it looks, and it just takes ink wonderfully. So you don't have to work very hard, and I'm not doing a lot of blending. I'm just laying down some color and not really, being picky about how I just want it to go from, I want the yellow on the ends of the leaves, and then for it to fade into the orange color, the Cajun Craze. Super easy, just laying down a little bit of color, and then I'll add some pecan pie to that stem. And it just looks so pretty, this combination of colors. So we'll just blend the ink a little bit more, and we call that one good. So pretty. So I'm going to layer a bunch of leaf clusters. So like I said, I'm not being super picky about the blending there because I'm going to have stuff on top of it. And then I'm going to bring this other leaf in, and I'm going to blend some wild wheat on it to go with the other colors that are in that card collection. And again, not being super picky, just laying some color down. I just don't want it to be like one solid color. I want it to have some variations. So like in nature, nothing's all the same one color, right? Okay, so off camera, I did a whole bunch of these, and they're good to go. Then I have an alphabet set. This is from Close to My Heart. It's called Block Alphabet, and I cut out a bunch of letters to spell out Silverton in silver foil. And then I've added a layer of black gloss paper underneath, and I've staggered them so it kind of looks three-dimensional, and it makes the silver pop a bit. So once I have them down on that blue background, they'll stand out a little bit more, like that. Okay, so that's about where everything's gonna live. And off camera, I've done some strip journaling on vanilla just to explain the date, and that we drove in from the $1 Million Highway to Silverton and just walked around and explored the town and the museum. Real simple. Now I'll bring in all that ephemera and all the embellishments that I created. So I'm just gonna do some leaf clusters and just kind of tuck them in around the log like that. I love that copper foil for the leaves. It really pops. And I wanted to use a little blue to reflect that Colorado blue sky in the pictures, and also the blue that's in the pattern card bases. And then I pulled this other log that was from the ephemera for the cards, and I've inked around the edges the same as I did the other two, so that I have 3 circles on my layouts for the rules of 3. We'll tuck a couple of leaves in there, and then we'll create another embellishment cluster over on the right side, and just tuck these little fern pieces in. And that pattern paper for the fern matches that strip that's at the top that is from Wildly Flowering, that is in Wild Wheat. It's kind of a plaid pattern, and it looks really cool when it's die cut. So we got a cluster there. And then off camera, I decided I needed more leaves, and so I created another small cluster on the left side of the log. And then to finish up, I have these metallic embellishments, and they come in silver, gold, and copper. So I'm going to scatter a whole bunch of copper ones all around. And if you'd like to see a closer look at this layout, I've taken close-up shots, and I'll have them on my Facebook page. And the URL is at the bottom of your screen, and you'll find a link in the description below. So hop on over there and you can see a closer look at this layout. And make sure you click on the playlist for the rest of the team to see how they have twisted a kit this month. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.